What is up, everyone? Good morning. Welcome back to another stream, a game week 34 deadline stream. Wildcard is active. We will get into wildcard talk, what my team looks like, all of that in a minute. But first of all, let's say hello to a few of you. I'm going to have to shut this blind that is in front of me, or I'm going to have little light beams on my face all stream. Anyway, nice to see you all here. 2-hour stream. Thank you all of you who are in here already. Quite a few of you joining from the start. So thank you all very much who are here already. Say hello in the chat. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how you got on last game week. And we will do the usual rounds of hellos before we get into our usual rounds of questions and answers. For those asking, Fantasy Football Fest last night, it was really good. I've got some photos which I will post on Twitter later, but I got home, I went to bed, I got up, and I'm here now. So there was no time, but it was really, really good. Again, always is. Anyone who is considering going, I would highly encourage you to do so. So, who have we got in? We've got Prithav, Samuli, Tater Tot, Magic, Phaser. Good morning to all the members and moderators. Quite a few of you guys in already. If you are considering joining as a member, there's a link in the top of the description which will take you to that page if you want to. David, Lender, Ahmed, Alif, Tallest, Thanvi, FPL Guide, Milos, Naeem, Eddie, Harry, Referee, Rory. Rory, I saw you subscribe just before we came on, so thank you very much. Joseph, Levi, Gustav, James, Lendo, Mayclack. Good morning, everyone. I've realised that the background that it is using is not the right one, so let's go and change that in just 1 second. Is this going to be it? No, let's desktop, FBL Harry, stream bits. It's going to make it nice and big for me, and we'll just fix that. There we go. That rank needed to be corrected. Absolutely right. Magic, I'm Spartif, Husani, Maybe Pro, Rahul. Good morning, everyone. Let's do some questions to start off. Again, you guys who joined early, I try and do a quick round of questions at the beginning because you are the loyal ones who are here at the very beginning. But if you guys could drop a like on the stream, just to get it started to be shared out around YouTube at the beginning, that would be fantastic. We can hit 50 likes off the bat and we'll get straight into a few questions. Barnes probably top 5 worst transfers of the season. So from what we're hearing, it's not great. I don't know how many of the next few he's going to start. He scored last week, but I don't think he's a great long-term pick. Salah or Havertz captain. So I've put a ranking over on that side. Basically, is my Chelsea ranking, but also where I'd put Salah in terms of captaincy. So that's hopefully for anyone coming to ask Chelsea questions, I'd go Havertz first, and he will be the one that I have on wildcard. Salah would be next in terms of captaincy. Then I would go Mount. Then I would go James. Then I would go Werner, Alonso, Thiago Silva. So that's the way I'm ranking it at the moment. But yeah, any questions? Any questions, fire away. I've come, those of you asking what I'm drinking, come always prepped with my double liquids for the stream. I've got a cup of tea and I've got my bottle of water. So hopefully I've had a slice of leftover pizza from last night before we went live. So I'm feeling ready and raring to go to make my final wildcard decisions. Much better this morning than maybe I thought I would. Is City double game week 36 or 37? We don't know yet, unfortunately, and we have no sort of guess to where it's going to be. It feels like a very 50-50 split at the moment. It doesn't sound like we're going to get anything before the deadline. So not the news that we wanted and not news that we really expected, but that sounds like the way it's going to be for us, unfortunately, going into this week, that we're not going to know. We're not going to know. Part of me thinks if they're not going to tell us, does that mean there's less rush to reschedule it? Does that mean it's going into 37? I think I'm reading into it a bit more. Fest was good, thank you. Starting Ketia. I would start him if you've got no one else. I don't know. I think he probably keeps his place, but I don't know with enough confidence the way that Arteta would manage a situation like that. So against you, if it was anyone but United, well, not anyone but United, but if it was anyone like apart from a top 6 team, I would think that he'd start. But now I'm a bit less sure. If you've got other options, I'd probably go with them, but. Transfer Kane for Ronaldo and captain him? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't get caught up on what Ronaldo did against Norwich when he's got a double this week of Chelsea and Arsenal. Mount, Salah, captain. I'd probably captain Salah over Mount just because I'm not 100% sure on Mount playing both games. Simicast enabler in for Kilman to do Rudiger and Barnes out for Robbo and Mount for a -8. I'm not sure that. Well, I'm not sure Rudiger in for Rudiger to Robbo for -8 is worth it, but I like the other ones. Start Pookie or Shah. I'd want Pookie in there. I've got Pookie in my wildcard. We'll go to my wildcard in just a moment. We'll do that in a minute. Would I start Che Adams or Jacob Ramsey? Fixtures for this week. Che Adams or Jacob Ramsey. The issue is I think Che Adams is going to start, right? I think he's going to have to start. So I'd probably start him. Thoughts on Zaha versus Saka? I'd still probably go Saka, to be honest. Just that team have got so much to play for now that I would really be favouring them. Sorry, it's still on subscriber only mode, so let me take that off for the start of the stream. Don't know why that was on. Werner or Kane? I would go. If I could own either, I'd go Werner this week. But long term, apart from this week, it's Kane. So make of that what you will. But long term, basically 2 or more weeks, it's Kane. If it's less, then it's Werner. Morning, everyone. Mayclack, Alonso or James? So again, I'd probably go James over Alonso if you can afford it. Alonso and Foden or Reece James and Kulu. So this is quite a difficult one. I'd then favour the Alonso and Foden route because unless you're free hitting, got a free hit left. But I would go Alonso and Foden. Yeah. So in terms of my wildcard team, so this is how I did last week. I do just want to mention it one or two times during the stream because it's the best week of FPL that I've ever had. Not necessarily in terms of total points, but yeah, it's I think one of the best weeks of FPL I've ever had. So I got 121 points. I got a game week rank of 2,500 in the world for this week. Morning, Bob. How are we doing? Like a game week rank of 2,500. You're hearing Salah might be benched. I don't see him being benched, but the minutes could be managed because it's Champions League. So that was last week. I went Pope in goal. This is not my wild card. I just wanted to bring up how I did last week because it was like crazy. Like everything that could have possibly have gone right for me went right. Like Pope clean sheet, Sarr I brought in for Robbo got a 9. Trent, like Cancelo only got a 6. The Liverpool fullback Robertson only got a 6. Saka got a 10. Barnes got a 12. Maddison blanked. Odegaard got a 7. Salah 19. Brought in Ronaldo, captain him 34. Weghorst 10. But anyway, in terms of my wildcard team, this is not locked in, right? And this is not how it's going to look because there are some changes I haven't made yet. But I'm waiting before I make a final decision because I'm got value tied up in players that I'm going to sell. So we will go through that. Let me just check what happened in the price rises last night. Alonso, Werner, James all went up. Fine. I was never going to own Werner. That means Nketiah didn't, right? So I can fiddle around with not having Nketiah in my team. Fine. Alright. Transfers is what I need to be on. And then a list of you. Did Nketiah go up? No, fine. Will Rudiger play? So, Rudiger's... it sounds like he's not going to play West Ham, right? As a pretty set in stone, he's not going to play West Ham. But Is he going to play Manchester United? Potentially. There was no sort of update on him for that game, and I don't really know anything more than you guys do that he's ruled out for this weekend. So if I had to hedge a guess with him, if you've got no one else and you want to keep him long term, I'd probably keep him. But I'm not confident on him this week, especially when he's got one game, which is going to be United. So Kulu to Alanga for a -4, or Bernardo Silva in next game week anyway. Kulu to Alanga is definitely not worth a -4. Absolutely not. Alanga's not going to play both games. Not going to start both. He might get 100 minutes total, but that's really not worth it over Kulu. Definitely not. You're sitting outside the top 100k. Took a -8 for Kane, Kula, Maddison, Taverna, Mount, KDB. If you want to make risk, I think you've done a good job in choosing the risk that you're going to make there. I quite like that. I probably wouldn't do it myself, right? Because I'm trying to protect my rank a little bit, but I don't dislike the transfers. Alonso or Salah captain? Salah. Would I start Shah or Kulu? Kulu. Will I still get Mount, even with the start uncertainty? So no. So let me go through my wildcard. I think I'm going to do by the deadline, right? Wildcard is active. Always got to check that. You guys know how much I love flicking around with this site when it does this, but anyway. So I think... Sorry. Basically... it's like this. How much have I got there? Who was Dennis. It's like this, but I have the money in the bank to do either Kulusevski or Saka to Son. Hang on a minute. I'm missing a player in my starting lineup, but I don't know who it is. There's no way I had 1.9 mil in the bank. Oh, Robbo, right? Because, yeah, he was going to go up in price. Cool. So, I think my wild card is going to look like this. But the big debate for me is, do I want Saka or Kulusevski? And I'm just not sure on which of the two that I'm going to go with. Mount or Salah captain, that's pretty close. I'd probably end up on Salah if it was me. Again, just because I'm not 100% sure on the amount of minutes that we're going to get from Mount. There's a chance he plays both, and there's also a chance that he doesn't. Why no Mount? Just because I prefer Havertz, to be honest. And I can't afford the double midfield, basically, with the team that I want to get. Ramsey instead, Gordon on wildcard. He's not going to play next week, and then Gordon has a really nice double game week, and Everton are still fighting. So I want Gordon, definitely. Good morning to everyone. Again, please just a quick ask. If you have not liked the stream already, please can you go and give it a like down below. We are close to 100 likes. If we could just try and hit that quickly. And if you are new, please do subscribe. You should get a little shout out notification on stream if you do subscribe as well. Sebastian, Nick, Casper, Patrick, all thank you for subscribing already this morning. But if you guys could, just like the stream and subscribe if you are new, that would be fantastic. Should you get Alonso for Robertson? I wouldn't make that sideways move, to be honest. I think you'd want Robertson long term. You'd want Alonso this week. So I just stick with whichever one you've got, I think. Werner or Mount? I'd probably go Mount over Werner. I know there's less forward options, but I would probably back Mount long term over Werner. I still don't trust Werner enough. I know he's been really good, and a few of you wanting to go in on him. I understand it, but I just haven't seen it like long term enough. I still have previous Werner in the back of my mind. David, thank you very much for the super chat. Would I start Dubravka and Shah or Ramsdale and Shah? I'd probably go Ramsdale, but because I think there's going to, because I'm going to start Pookie, right? So I think that there's going to be a Norwich goal in that game. But is it the right thing? I'd probably, because you've already got Shah, right? I probably would go Ramsdale. But again, that's me maybe just trying to hedge my bets a little bit. What's the best free hit draft for this week? So I don't have one sort of the whole team. But it would have... So yeah, I mean, it would have triple Chelsea with a double midfield in there. It would have Ronaldo. It would have De Gea. It would have probably double Liverpool and maybe single or double Spurs, something like that. Do I prefer double City defence or Cancelo and Foden for possible double in 36? Thank you, Lex, for subscribing. Sorry, I was losing. Do I prefer Foden or a double City defence? Probably Foden if they do get a double, because it's after the Champions League games. So I would probably back Foden to probably start both in the double. So that's probably where I would go. And it's where I'm looking. I want all three, to be honest, Foden and double defence. Lex, Darshan, Victor, Prodvik, Andrew, Sebastian, thank you guys for subscribing. Sideways move from Rudiger to Alonso from -4. You don't have any other Chelsea defender. Who would you be starting instead, though? Because that's probably the question for me. Who would you be starting instead? Surely Coutinho over Saka or Kulu. So I'm free hitting in game week 37. So for anyone who is new to the channel, my chip strategy is wildcard this week, bench boost game week 36, and free hit game week 37. So I don't really need Villa assets because they're doubles Burnley and Liverpool. Yes, they've got Norwich next week, but I don't like my team is set up pretty well for next week anyway. Because like I'll have Son, Salah, Havertz, and then either Saka or Kulu. I'll have Pookie or Dennis up front, and I'll have a back five. So I'll be playing a back five every week with this team. Why Schmeichel in goal? Just because he's cheap. He's got a good double in game week 36, which will be my bench boost. His fixtures in and around that are fine. I don't love the goalkeepers generally that we've got access to at the moment. I still quite like Ramsdale, but he's slightly more, and their fixtures are not as good. So there's a bit of a muchness, and I just like what Schmeichel's fixtures look like for the next few and the double as well. Start Matip or Martinelli. I would probably start. I'd probably start Matip, but maybe you want to favour the attacker. But there's also a chance that Konate starts. But I think I can probably go. Yeah, I think I'd probably go with Matip. You want to see my starting 11? I haven't made these transfers. I haven't made them all yet. Like I still have Kane in my actual team because I got value tied up in him, and I need to decide basically, do I want... So I could do this, right? Or basically I'm going to build towards this. Like I'm going to own the triple Chelsea for this week, and then I'm going to sell them, and I'm going to go and get triple Manchester City, right, for the run-in with Laporte, Foden, Cancelo. I basically then need to choose, do I want Saka and... Yeah, do I want Son or Kane, and do I want Kulu or Saka? That's basically the decisions I've got left to make, and I can't line up until I've done it. In terms of what my actual team, it will line up something like this, right? Of course, Havertz will be in for Mount. I will have Robertson in for Laporte. It will look something like this when it comes to starting 11. Chip strategy, yeah. So bench boost game week 36, free hit game week 37. Hoping for the top 10k finish, hopefully. Sell Kane and Rafinha to get Sterling and Werner. Sterling I've seen flying around quite a lot in the past 24, 48 hours. My worry is that people are looking very short term on him, and that they are just thinking he'll play just thinking that he will play against this week, and then that will be great. And if he doesn't do anything this week, then you're stuck with him. Sorry, the reason I paused is someone in the chat said if I thought about Gaeta, but he doesn't double in 36 is the issue with him, actually, because I'm free hitting 37, so I can free hit Gaeta in. So let me know in the comment section, would you go with Son or would you go with Harry Kane for this week? Or for the rest of the season, I suppose. Son or Kane, and Saka or Kulusevski. So 2 names in the chat. Son or Kane, and Saka or Kulusevski. So please don't put Son and Kane, because that doesn't help. Son, Kane, and then Saka or Kulusevski. I like the Son and Saka. No Son, no Kane. I'm going to own one of them. Son and Saka. Son over Kane. To allow if I want to go Son to KDB. Son, it helps be more flexible. There's a lot of Son and there's a lot of Sakas, right? Not many of you are big fan of Kulusevski, which is okay. You got Kane and Saka. Son can cover Kulu and Kane. But I feel like that's just hindsight. He's so massively overperformed all his numbers. So I'm a bit... Who's got like higher predicted points between now and the end of the season? Let's have a look. Kane and Kulu. Kane and Saka. You guys are so split. And I think this is why it's causing me difficulty, because Son is slightly higher than Kane. Son is slightly higher than Kane. Does it change your thinking if it means that I have to go with like Nketiah up front? Otherwise, I could go with Jacob Ramsey in the midfield. But Son overperforms every year. Son EO is very high. Yeah, all the Spurs guys' EO is very high. So is Saka. I basically got 4 massively high-owned EO players, and I can only own 2 of them. So there was a little bit of talk about Kulu playing wing-back, but I think it's going to actually come to it. Press conference quotes from yesterday. I just don't, It basically was like, we've got the 3 wing-backs that we've got fit. I hope they stay fit, basically, is what he said. So, can you use Wildcard on 35 and bench boost 36? Yeah, Derek. Dekar. Yeah, you can. You can indeed. Should I go for Alanga or Anderson? This week, I'd start Alanga if you've got him, and chase a little bit of upside with him, but I don't think I would, I don't love it, but I would probably start him. Which goalkeeper on a free hit? I'd probably own De Gea if I was on a free hit this week. Probably go De Gea. Yeah, if I was on a free hit. Lingard or Kulusevski as a 1 week punt. I wouldn't go Lingard. I'd be surprised if Lingard gets on the pitch at all in the double. So yeah. You don't lose value in someone if you take them out on a free hit, right? No, you don't. Like when they come back, you'll have them at the previous value that you had them at. Should Trent be a priority? Like, I love the Liverpool triple up that I've got. What's going on? Just want everyone to fit on the pitch. How hard is it? There we go. What's my team value? It's pretty good. It's slightly higher than the average. I don't know exactly what it is. No, Sam, simply FPL, he's fine. He's just doesn't is not motivated to do content at the moment. He'll be back next season, I'm sure. What would my wildcard look like if I had 2 free hits left? I don't know, because I don't know when I played them. If I was on a free hit, if I had 2 free hits left, I think I'd play one this week. Wildcard next week is probably what I would do. Because then your wildcard next week, you wouldn't need virtually any Chelsea in on it. Yeah. Boris, you've got the same question that I do. Do I want Nketiah or João Pedro on my wildcard? Nketiah, I feel like I'm chasing a bit more potential there. João Pedro could easily drop out one of the games for like Josh King, but like either of them really that great. Are either of them really that great? When will City double get announced? We don't know. We're hoping that it was going to be yesterday. It's not. I doubt it's going to happen before the deadline. It's probably going to be early next week, I would say. It's going to come before the next deadline, right? I would be very surprised if we don't get that. So it's hard to tell with Arteta if he plays Nketiah, though. Exactly. I'd love to see the team news for this weekend before I decided, but I don't know if we'll get any news. I know that they're the early kickoff. I know that they are the early kickoff, but maybe if we wait long enough, we might get something. But do I go for Mateta or Pukki? On Wildcard or generally? On Wildcard, I'd go Pukki. If I had to start one this week, I'd probably also go Pukki. But just because there's that motivation factor there for them, that I don't know if there isn't the same motivation factor at Palace. And just generally, he got benched last week and that's enough to put doubt in my mind. Anurag, thank you very much for the super chat. Rudiger, Trent, Robbo, Shah, Barnes, Salah, yeah. Broya, Wood, Martinelli, Vegdine on bench. Good, really bad team on paper. Broya, Wood is okay. Son is fine. There's Saka. There's a lack of Chelsea, right? Barnes probably. I know you say you want James, but Barnes out would be the move for me, along with like, can you do Weghorst to Pukki and Barnes to Havertz? It's probably what I would line up, or downgrade Luka Dean, but that's probably what I would look at. I know Weghorst has Watford next week, but your defence is good. I know Rudiger's bad this week, but come game week 36, if he's fit, you'll want Rudiger over James probably, because I think Rudiger's more likely to start both. So I wouldn't worry. I would prefer the midfield transfer. Sorry. Start Watkins, Coutinho or Mateta. Maybe Coutinho. I'd probably back him always over Watkins, just because it's the way I am. But just because I think his sort of consistency of returns is probably going to be slightly better. I don't love Watkins. I've owned him for a lot of this season, and it's not particularly pleasant viewing. Nketiah, I've lost my head. It's just I need a third cheap forward, and I have no idea where else to go. If anyone's got a cheap forward that isn't Pukki and isn't Dennis that they can go and suggest, like, please let me know who it is, because I would love to know. You know, Foden scored last game week, but I still feel his goal threat is slightly low, and someone like Coutinho will probably outscore him now to the end of the season. Yeah, but Mateta, but like you're saying Mateta and Jay Rodriguez, but they don't double. And Mateta got benched last week, and the reason I don't have Mateta in my team is like he got benched last week. If he's only got a single in 36, and I'm playing my bench boost then, that like if he gets benched, then like he's a whole waste of a bench boost. Rodriguez at Burnley's an interesting one, but again, I think I'd just rather chance my arm on Nketiah or João Pedro. He does double 37, yeah, but I've got a free hit to play that week. Yeah, sorry, I will have... Let me refresh this, because I will have triple Chelsea, don't worry. 100% will be on my wildcard. I was just doing my plans for future weeks. Sorry, let me get back up what I actually... Robertson. Just while I redo this, guys, please do like the stream. Close to 200 likes. Thank you all very much for watching this morning. I will continue to get through as many questions as I can, but if you could like and subscribe, that would be fantastic. How many double game week players do I think is needed to do well this week? Like, I don't think you need loads, because I think long term, like going heavy on double game week players this week is not good long term. So I think if you're going few, then you need to, if you're going a lot, then you need to make ground up this week. And if you're going with a few, you need to understand that in the next couple of weeks, you'll probably be in a better position than other people will be. So you need to understand that sort of balance. How many double game week players? Yeah, we've answered that. -4 Pope to Mendy. Probably. James, thank you for subscribing. Nketiah worth a punt on Arsenal. James or Alonso, and reason why is I would go James, just because I feel like he's a bit more likely to start both games than Alonso is. It's pretty close though. I don't think there's that much in it, because if you don't, basically my theory with Chelsea players is if you don't get them starting both in their double, they'll then start Everton at the following weekend. So you're pretty much guaranteed, I think, 2 of the next 3. So I don't think it really matters that much. And if they start both in the double, are they going to start Everton? I think no. So I don't think it matters that much from that perspective, because that's what I think will happen with a lot of these players, that they'll play 2 of the next 3. Havertz is the one that I think could play all 3, and he's why he's top of my ranking over on that side of the stream. So that's why he's up there, because I think he's got the best chance of starting all of the next 3 games. I would probably just about favour James though. Jay, lovely to meet you as well. Hope you had fun. It was good. On Wildcard, last player pick, Martinelli or Smith Rowe. I'd probably still go Martinelli. I still probably would go Martinelli. Because if Smith Rowe is picked because he's a clinical forward, then that would mean that if you're on a bench boost, that means then Martinelli is more likely to start Leeds. When actually, if you could start 1 in the double, Leeds is the one you'd want. Broja to Nketiah worth a -4. Thank you very much, Nick, for the super chat. Better starter this game week. Need to replace Broja before 36. I'm not sure Broja starts this week. If you can go Pookie, I'd go Pookie, right? Nketiah is fine if you need that cheap option, but I would be going Pookie over him for sure. Ryan Tan, first time here and subscribed. Thank you guys. Anyone new who hasn't subscribed already, please, that would be fantastic. We are approaching what would be my most viewed stream ever, which would be fantastic as well. So please do stick around and like and, I don't know. Thank you. Red Course or Pookie. Kulu and Kane out for Iheanacho and De Bruyne. No, Iheanacho is not the one. Especially with Vardy coming back. I wouldn't be doing that. You'd like to free hit. What team would I pick? Again, we went through this. I'd have triple Chelsea. I'd have with double midfield and single defence. I'd have double Manchester United with De Gea and Ronaldo. I'd have a couple of City in their fixture. I'd probably go 1 Spurs, a couple of Liverpool. It would look something like that. Should you take a hit to get Mount if I have Havertz? Again, it depends who's leaving your team, but I like the double up quite a lot this week. No worries. KDB and Timo or Kane and Mount. This week I'd go Kane and Mount if it was me. This week I would go Kane and Mount. Jose Sarr or Dubravka? Probably Dubravka. Start Davies or Nketiah? I would probably go... I'd probably go Nketiah, just because I'm not that sold on a Spurs clean sheet this week. Ramsdale or Sanchez? Who do Brighton have this week? They're home to Southampton. I'd probably go Sanchez this week out of those two. Football of Glory TV, thank you for subscribing. Son or Sterling? This week, Sterling, long-term Son. Son or KDB? Again, I'm not sure KDB starts this week. So I'd go Son. You're 700. Thank you for the super chat, Gavin. You're 175k and you're 20 points behind your mini league. You have White, Will-Prowse, Son to Laporte, Mount, Kai for a -8. You already have Kane. And would do Kai to Kulu in 35 as further cover. White to Laporte, fine. Will-Prowse to Mount, good. Son to Kai. Son to Kai is the one I'm a bit worried about. But if you're going to captain him, then yeah. Like if you're chasing and you're going to captain Kai, then I like that. Bench boost 36, free hit 37. Go for it, Gavin. I don't dislike them. Sending Son is of course a risk. But if you're going to captain Kai, then I can see it being fine. Play Weghorst. To be honest, if you've got Burnley guys in your team, well, if you've got Weghorst in your team, I didn't love his performances in the double. He got his goal, but it was a scrappy rebound. So their fixture this week, home to Wolves, I think it's okay. Wolves tend to set up pretty solidly, but I'm not a massive fan of Weghorst this week. If you've got no one else, I think it's fine because it's at home, but it's not like my favourite pick this week. Best 5 or under defender option for wildcard. I'd still probably go Emerson Royale as my pick in that sort of bracket. My wildcard midfield is Salah, Sterling, Havertz, Mount. Sterling is a 1 or 2 game week punt. Fine, I can see a lot of people doing Sterling. Well, a few people doing that sort of 1 or 2 game week punt. I like that quite a lot. I imagine you've got no Spurs in there as a result, but I quite like it. Christophery Con, Tierney, Nelly. Not sure who Nelly is, but Tierney, someone. Kane to Cancelo, Foden, Werner for a -4. Again, like the previous one, selling Kane or Son for a -4 for a Chelsea asset is a big risk, right? But if you're chasing, it's an understandable way to do it. Am I having Kane in my wildcard team? So I basically have the decision. Again, it's Saka or Kulusevski. I think it's a pretty difficult one to pick. Saka's double is better than Kulusevski's, so maybe I go that, but Kulusevski's next 2 are better. So it's pretty close. I think after all the planning, you think you're going to roll. Would I start Rudiger or White this week? I'd start Rudiger, but there's not much in it. I don't love them both. So let me put in what my wild card is really going to look like. Something like 5.4. You guys, everyone I've spoken to, again, let's just one more round of these. If you put, do you want Saka or Kulusevski? Because we focus main on Son or Kane. Would you have Saka or Kulu? I know there's a poll actually. Maybe I should do that. But Saka or Kulu, who would you be picking out of the 2 of them? Ramsdale to Schmeichel, Wood to Pookie. Yeah, 2 transfers I quite like. Schmeichel feels like a good just set and forget goalkeeper between now and the end of the season. The chat is just going mad on Saka. My only concern, right, is what happens if Saka doesn't score that penalty, right? If he doesn't score that penalty, he's had 4 blanks in a row. He's had 1 return in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got 1 return in the last 7 if he doesn't score that penalty. But I am seeing about 1 Kulusevski. This is the thing. Like, if he doesn't score that penalty, are you all... Yeah, but he did score it. Fair enough. Probably Odegaard instead of Saka. For anyone who doesn't watch the stream, hasn't watched me before, I've owned Odegaard for way too long this season and it's been so painful. I'm not owning him on my wildcard. Saka's still good even without the pen. Start Schmeichel or Gaeta. Probably Gaeta. Saka or Martinelli for being a differential on wildcard. Saka or Martinelli. I'd just go Saka, to be honest. Sorry, my alarm is going off. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, that's not what I want to do. That one. We're back. Saturday morning alarm. What have I done? I've moved that too high up. There we go. Go away for 20 seconds. Stream falls apart. Keep or sell Mendy after game week 34. Have Schmeichel as well. If you've got both, I don't think you need both at all. So I don't think you need both. Saka over Kulu, but get both if you can. Saka over Kulu. I can't get both, right? So effectively, if I get my team again, so my team is like this basically, and I need a how much have I got? 5.4. Yeah, I need to get Son in for one of my midfielders, and it basically has to be Saka or Kulu. So that's the decision that I'm making this week. Yeah, so next season I'm thinking of a members only sort of prizes and leagues to go for all members. Hi Tom, how are we doing? Hope you had a good evening. Oh, the first fan you met at Chelsea, how are we doing? Who to start? Shaw or Martinelli? Again, I'd probably favour the attacker there because I'm starting Pookie, right? So I think there's going to be a goal conceded for Shah. So I'd probably go with the attacker. Start Gaeta or Schmeichel? Probably Gaeta. Way too heavy on defence. I really like it. Morning Ray, how are we doing? How are we feeling? If it's Son for Saka or Kulu, you surely go Kulu out. Yeah, but their fixtures over the next two are really nice, which is basically what I'm trying to decide on. Like, they got Brentford and Leicester. Basically, between now and the end of the season, who's predicted more points? I imagine Saka smashes the predicted points, to be honest. If we go... Martinelli, but Saka is way higher than Kulu. 22 plays 28. I mean, it's not loads different, but it's saying that I should go Saka. Cover both teams. What's the reason behind double defense rather than double attack? Yeah, good question. Low-key. I basically can't afford to go double midfield. It doesn't work with the team structure. It basically just doesn't work with the team structure I want. I can't afford it. And maybe you're like, well, sell both Saka and Kulu and get it. And I just can't do that. Like, the money does not allow unless I don't go Son. So, and it's either I don't go Son or I don't go Laporte this week. And I think it's pretty clear which I would do. Hey, Jaden. Morning, everyone. Thank you, everyone who's joined. Again, if you have not already, please do like the stream. And if you are new, subscribe to the channel. That would be fantastic. We are aiming for 17,500 subscribers by the end of the season. Sorry, this is predicted at Fantasy Football Hub's predicted tools. Link in the description to that one. And this is FPL.team, where you can flick through and see your team for sort of the next game weeks, for example. Really good tool. But those are the two sites that I use. Hey, James and Pookie would burn on bench, or Werner and Burn with no bench. Or Werner and Burn. I'd rather the other, James and Pookie. Yeah, I'd rather the James and Pookie. Start Dubravka or Ramsdale. Yeah, so, sorry, I'd probably go Dubravka. Why is Martinelli so high? Because at the moment he's still predicted to start. He hasn't been benched for enough games to lower him down the expected minutes table. So he's still high. Kai Havertz is going to be my captain. I'm going all in on the double game week. Let me put a poll in the chat as well about your captain. So this is predicted points between now and the end of the season for midfielders under 7 million or 7 million under. Let me just type this poll out. Last week I was right on CR7. I was indeed. Will I be right on Kai Havertz this time round? I do not know. I'm hoping so, but this is Fantasy Football Hub. There is a link in the description which will take you there. Captaincy, I'm on Kai. If you don't have Kai, I'd probably just go safe on Salah. Is Mount worth a -4 this week? It depends who for. Probably not. Probably not. You're on a free hit. Yeah, good luck. Start Barnes or Shah. I'm not sure Barnes is going to start, so I'd probably go Shah. Why Son over Kane? Kane's record versus Leicester insane. It's just I haven't made the decision yet. At the moment, I just think that it frees up a little bit of money with Son, but I could. So basically, this is where I'm at, and if I go, I could go Nketiah to Kane, and then like Kulu would go, and I'd have 4.6 to spend, or I could do Saka out and had to have slightly more to spend. So if I had 4.6, thank you for subscribing, Stephen. Like 4.6, if I could get Ramsey with a team that looked like this, I probably would. The only thing is, I'd have to go Kulu over Saka if I went this way around, unless I went with another one of these midfielders, which is fine. I basically don't need them apart from game week 36. But I would have 4.6 mil. They say Dewsbury Hall. I could go and get Dewsbury Hall. None of these fill me with any sort of confidence. Gordon is the one I would go with. For sure. But I've already got him. Captaincy order: Mount, Havertz, Alonso. Havertz first, Mount second, Werner third. Play Wood this game week or go Pookie. I'd go for Pookie. So what's the poll saying? What are we saying in the poll? Who to start from these five? Choose two. Saka, Tony, Brownhill, Aït-Nouri and Cash. Saka 100% and Tony 100%. Why Salah over Mount? My worries was with Mount's minutes. He's played a lot of minutes recently. But yeah, that's basically it. I worry about the minutes he's going to get this week. Why Robertson over Laporte? So Laporte will come in for me going into like the next weeks. Alonso will go to Laporte. But I'm just wanting, like, Robertson will stay. But, so yeah. Keep one of Maddison and Barnes. Probably keep Maddison. Barnes is in and out of that team like a yo-yo at the moment. Should I transfer Gordon for Smith Rowe, Martinelli, or neither? Probably neither. I quite like Gordon. Who would I bench out of Pookie, Matip, and Nketiah? I'd probably go... If I had to bench one, probably bench Nketiah. Nick, you've got real questions. FPL deadline questions, these. Domino's or Pizza Hut? Domino's 100%. Coke or Pepsi? Coke. McDonald's or Burger King? McDonald's. Indian versus Chinese. I actually had this conversation with someone, I think, yesterday. Indian. Chinese if I'm going to the restaurant. Indian if I'm having a takeaway. Ronaldo or Messi? Ronaldo. New York or LA? Never been to LA, so New York. And dogs or cats? I don't think I'm going to be many friends with people when I say I'm a cat person. But how are we doing, Nuclear? Anyway, let's have a... Again, I do need to finalise this wildcard at some point. So, should you get Gordon or Martinelli for Smith Rowe? Who are you selling? Which way round are you doing it? Gordon's my favorite, or one of my favorite assets, probably my favorite asset in that list. So, you think Salah will play the whole game? Probably not. Probably not. I am worried that Salah plays 60 as well, but he can still do his damage against Everton in that amount of time. Oh no. Here come the Messi fanboys are coming. Listen, I love Messi so much, and I'm a Messi fan more than I'm a Ronaldo fan. But what kind of tinkering did I do to end up with Dennis? It's true. John, I'm not reading that comment out on stream, but it did make me laugh. We are 22 likes away from 300 likes, which I think is probably the most I've ever had on a stream. So thank you all very much. Again, if you are new, please like and subscribe. 3 videos a week normally, as well as at least 1 stream, whilst managing a full-time job. So any support would be fantastic. Start Ramsey, Weghorst or Barnes? Probably Weghorst. I'm not sure Barnes is going to start. Fulzan, thank you and welcome. Robertson, rotation risk. Not long term. He might miss 1 game between now and the end of the season. But you've got to take that with every player, right? Triple captain Salah, no. I think there's enough doubt about his minutes a little bit on him at the moment. Just for this week, just because of his Champions League game midweek. And also with the Champions League and the doubles coming up, I would just wait. Werner and Odegaard and Cash or Havertz, Mateta, Laporte. Werner and Odegaard and Cash. Havertz, Mateta, Laporte. Mason Party. A lot of Mason Mount owners. A lot of Mason Mount owners and captainers in the chat, it seems, today. So should I get rid of Martinelli or Smith Rowe for Gordon? Oh, it's that way round. I'd sell... Oh, that's difficult. You're trying to tell me predict who's going to start out of Martinelli and Smith Rowe. I can't... they can't drop Smith Rowe after that performance. So I'd sell Martinelli. Your prediction is Liverpool 2-0, go higher up and Salah comes off. I think that's quite possible. I think that's what a lot of people probably think is going to happen. Rodney... Colvkin, thank you guys for subscribing. Am I doing a Game Week 36 bench boost? I am indeed 36 bench boost. Captain Salah or Mount? For me, I'd be on Salah, but people in the chat seem to disagree with me. But I've got a bit of doubt about how many minutes Mount plays across both games, but that's just me. Am I locked? No, definitely not. Maybe I should start making my final wildcard team. It's the issue. When you actually go on stream, I don't actually end up having time to think about my own team and make transfers. I end up doing silly things like bringing Ronaldo in. Hey, do I think Foden will play? I worry he won't play this week because of Champions League midweek. Who's the penalty taker? Jorginho first. Second, I don't know, will be Mount or Kai. And Twitter will blow up when Jorginho doesn't start and Chelsea get a penalty, and half of Twitter is on Mount and half is on Kai, and people have no idea who's going to step up and take the penalty. I think it's Mount. Personally, but I'm not 100% sure. It could be either. Can Werner be nailed after he didn't get much game throughout the season and he's vital in this new season? My worry again is he's played a lot of minutes, right? So it's a lot for him to suddenly step up and play so much now. Yeah, I have seen the sort of spreadsheet of predicted Man City lineups, and it's not great for Foden. Who's the penalty taker at Chelsea? Yeah, coin toss, really. I know, exactly. Don't buy either of them based on if you think they're going to take penalties. So... basically, don't buy one thinking that one of them's going to be on penalties. Don't do that. Robertson rested. I mean, it's possible, right? It's possible, but I don't think so. Do I start Smith Rowe or Gordon? Smith Rowe this week, right? And then you wait, Martinelli will start, and then where will we be? But Cool. Can I go without Son or Kane? Midfielders, Kulu, Havertz, Mount, Saka, Salah. You can. I don't love it. I think a lot of people on Wildcard are doing it, and I think it's quite a big risk. But you've got Kulu at least. It's better than nothing, but I would probably want one. Chalobah, again, I can't see him starting more than one in the double, which is enough to be a concern for me. Will Crooks, thank you for the super chat. You've already taken a -4. Is it worth it for another -4 hit to captain Havertz? Plan to save the transfer for next week and use 2 for bench boost 36. I don't know who you're selling, but if you've got a player you're happy to captain, I don't necessarily think it's worth the extra -4. So I'd probably err on side of caution, unless you don't have anyone else that you are happy to captain. So I'd probably err on the side of caution for me, unless you're chasing, and then go for it 100%. If you're chasing, go for it. If you're not chasing, then I would just hold off. I have put subscriber only mode on, as we do after the first hour of the stream. You don't have to subscribe for any length of time to start using the chat, but just please do hit that subscribe button, and then you can start, again, firing your questions away. It would be Rafinha you'd be selling. I don't love that. I mean, imagine you've got someone you're happy to captain. Again, let me know in the chat. I'm erring on the side of caution with Rafinha, because I think he's still a good pick. Is this my wildcard team? Yeah, but I haven't fully decided on it. We're going to do that in a bit, I think. I'm going to captain Kai Havertz this week. Morning, Focal. How are we doing? I'm right as rain this morning, actually. Surprised. Very surprised. That pizza last night did me a world of good. How are you feeling? Do I start Broja or Richarlison? Who have Everton got? Everton away, Liverpool. Broja the points dodger, as he's named. That's pretty tough. I probably would want to go Broja because the fixture's a bit better, but I don't even know if he's going to start, right? Richarlison's going to start, but it's a really difficult fixture. You're making me pick between two very average things here. I would probably just about go Richarlison, just because I think he's more likely to start than we are likely to get from Broja this week. Because I expect Chadams to come back into that starting lineup. So, Coutinho or Foden on wildcard. So I would want Foden for the long term of the season, but over the next 2, I can only see him starting 1, which basically means I feel like you're taking a big gamble if you go Foden on wildcard this week, because I can't see him starting both of the next 2 when there's Champions League sort of in and around it. For me, my captaincy sort of ranking is over on that side. Thank you, Gus, Anton, Puruk for subscribing. Werner will play. I think he'll play at least 1. Whom to captain? Mount or Havertz? Yeah, I'm going Havertz. Yeah. Dubravka or Sanchez? Saka or Broja? I'd go Sanchez in goal, and that means you go Saka as your attacker. Saka the attacker. Right. Let me go and start Weghorst or Ramsey. Probably Weghorst. I don't love either of them. Right. So, Claire Chester, welcome. Thank you. Again, right. Let me do a little bit on my wildcard team, because I don't want to leave it to 10 minutes before the deadline in order to go and finalise it. We are 31 subscribers away from 17.2k, which would be fantastic, and I'm sure there are 31 of you watching and not being able to use the chat because you haven't subscribed. You went for triple Chelsea attack, Harry Holmes. Good luck. I hope it pays off, because that's what I would have. Well, I would want at least 2 if I could free hit, but I'm not sure I'd find the 3rd. Barnes or Gordon? I'd probably start Barnes. and just hope he starts, but I don't know if he's going to. I don't know if he's going to. So it's Son or Saka, Son or Kane, and Saka or Kulu. James, if you've got 4.5, I'd go Emerson Royale. Son or Kane, and Saka or Kulu. Some fans fancy Liverpool Simicast to start. Like, that's fine. Like, I've got a bench. Things will be okay. I'm having Robertson on my wildcard. There's no chance I go with anyone else unless I go Laporte. But I don't think there's enough. I don't see enough concrete stuff to do it. Why did I keep Robbo on wildcard? 100% keeping Robbo on wildcard. I don't know why I'd suddenly get rid of him. Like, the man's been on fire. You're not on free hit, you just don't want a Chelsea defender. Fair. I don't see more than one clean sheet max this weekend, but I'm chasing the upside with the fullbacks that I've got. Help. Richarlison, Kulu, Mount, or Son, Gordon, and Nketiah. Richarlison, Kulu, Mount, or Son, Gordon, and Nketiah. The Son option, because then you get Kai and Reece James. Welcome, Ashin. Welcome, Innocent. Welcome, Alistair. Thank you, everyone who has subscribed this morning. Hope you're enjoying it for the first time. Matip's so underrated. Yeah, he's not a bad option. I just want the fullbacks. The thought of having those 5 fullbacks in my team every week with their fixtures. Definitely happening. The only time they've got a difficult fixture is in the double. And of course that's fine because they're in a double game week. Am I worried about benching headaches? I'm going to play 5. If I've got Kane, it's a 5-3-2. If I go Son, it's a 5-4-1 every week. Gordon, and then 1 forward. Sorry, Gordon and 2 forwards on the bench. It works out pretty well. I've transfer planned it to the next level. It works very well. Who will Liverpool play in 37? That Southampton game is about 90% chance it goes. I can't see it going anywhere else but 37, basically. They just haven't rescheduled it in theory yet, but it basically will go into the midweek after 37. So that will still stay in 37. Rudiger be fit for the second of the double? I have as good a guess as you do. I hope so from a Chelsea fan perspective that he's going to be, but I don't know for certain. Sorry. Morning, Boona. How are we doing? Sorry. Boona. Son or Kane on my wildcard? Son or Kane? Who would you be going with? The budget doesn't really make a difference because if I go Son, then I have to invest more in the forward. Like, the actual amount I spend is not very different because I have to go Son and go slightly higher up front. But if I go Kane, then I can go for one of the cheap mids who still plays, but I can't go for a cheap forward. So the actual budget that I spend is virtually the same. So the budget's not a thing. Does that change you from going Son? Son, 5 goals off the golden boot. Really? It could bag, 2 hat-tricks and he's up there, but I can't see him getting it. You've got Son in mind, but Kane's on pens. You just couldn't afford Kane. Son and Saka is the choice. Still go Son. Interesting. That was just a noise, and I have no idea what it was. came from somewhere in my laptops, in my setup, but I don't know what it was. Right, let's have a look at a few stats. We don't often get the stats out, but we're going to go Spurs with a min price of 10 mil. Let's go since game week 25. Son's had less shots, more on target, less on the box, slightly less XG. He's had less XA as well. Son, last few, we've got Son's had higher XG if we make it more short term, but he's still lower on expected points. Son's just massively overperforming, but that's what he does, right? Kane's got his XA is setting up Son, right? It's tough. It's tough. I don't love the forward options outside of if I go Son. This is my only worry, that Son means I've got to go in Nketiah or João Pedro, which is pretty rubbish. I feel like Son is better counter goals, but maybe I just stick with Kane. But again, like I could do Kane. Thank you for subscribing. I hope you're enjoying me fret over my wild card. My captain is going to be Kai Havertz. Chances of Foden starting, I'm not that sure. I'm not that confident. If I had Foden, I wouldn't be very confident. Should you keep or sell Ronaldo? I'd probably keep him for this week and then I'd sell him next week. Son or De Bruyne for the next two? Son, because I'm not sure De Bruyne starts both. You have Mount, Martinelli, Son, Salah and Gordon in my midfield. Who should I captain? Mount or Salah? I'd probably be on Salah, but again, people in the chat don't agree with me on that one. They much prefer the double. Which City attacker do I think will start both? I don't know. Sterling, because maybe Jesus. Maybe Jesus, but I wouldn't want to buy him. Sterling, but he's so much money. It's so difficult to predict. Man City double 36, we don't know that yet. We don't know, unfortunately, Adam. We don't know who it's going to be. Could Tsimikas play this week? He could, in theory. I mean, I'm going Robertson on my wild card, and there's no chance I'm not. But Breuer or Weghorst? I'll probably go Weghorst because I'm not sure Breuer is going to start this week. Should I do Rudiger to Alonso, Kulu to Havertz, and Mount and Martinelli to Gordon or Dewsbury Hall? Rudiger to Alonso, fine. Kulu to Havertz, fine. Martinelli, is that a -8? If it's a -8, I wouldn't be doing all of those transfers. Start Davies or White. probably Davies. Do Dennis to Nketiah and get Ramsey. No chance. Dennis is definitely... Dennis and Pookie are in there. They're non-negotiable. Should I start Gordon, Roberts or Broja? I'd probably go... Who do Burnley have? Burnley have not a bad chance for clean sheet, to be fair. I'd probably go Roberts. First option, 3 Chelsea, Richarlison, Kulu, Mount. Or second is 2 Chelsea without Mount, Son, Gordon, and Nketiah. I feel like the first time round I said the second option, but the more I read it, again, I find it... Yeah, I still think the second option. Thank you for subscribing, Anoni. Do I take a -4 for... sorry, do you take a minus... Would do it for a -4. Do you trust Chelsea defence? No, but their fullbacks are still good options to own. Bench Kulu, Wood, Saka, Shah or Saka? Kulu, Wood, Shah or Saka? I'd bench probably Wood. He's not been good recently. Why Nketiah? Will he stay in the lineup? I only need him to start one of the 2 games in the double game week. I could just go João Pedro. Ronaldo or Mendy captain? I'd probably captain Ronaldo, to be honest. If I had that choice. Get Mane in for Salah to free up some money. You don't feel Salah will outscore Mane. I think I've got enough faith in Salah after that game. But I know Mane was very good as well. After much thought, you're going to captain Salah over Mount. Please don't let it come back to haunt me, but it's probably where I would go. Right, I do need to do this. Not leaving a wild card to 5 minutes before the deadline. So Son or Kane? Like, there's not going to be anything that's going to change my mind between now and the deadline. It's 50-50 call on the pair of them. And then Saka or Kulu. I feel like the Saka Kulu one is much, much easier. People are very sold on it being Saka. Which I don't know if I necessarily agree with. Return-wise, it's pretty even. Part of me wants to just go Kulu and hope that Arsenal implode again. Best Arsenal mid that's not Saka. I don't love the others because I don't know who's going to start every week. Odegaard nailed, but his attacking threat's not great. And then it's Martinelli or Smith Rowe, but I don't know who's going to play every week. If you can't get Saka, I don't think it's worth it. Martinelli over Saka. Again, I can't get back that given the performance that we've just seen from Smith Rowe. Yeah. Saka or Kulu, and what are the underlying... But Spurs, like, it's all well and good looking at Spurs, but their team just defies underlying stats. Is Kulu's returns that much better either, to be honest? Thank you, Kushal, for subscribing. Johan, thank you for the super chat. Cody, Rafinha, Laka to Cancelo Mount for -12. Don't do the Rafinha one. The Rafinha one is not worth it. So do Cody to Cancelo and Lacazette to someone who plays over a 4.5 for without the extra hit. Is Kulu's returns any better? Yeah, they're better than Saka's. But it's a lot of assists. There's a lot of assists in there. He scored 1 goal since 27. But plays Brentford and Leicester in the next 2. Saka is Man U at home, West Ham away. But then it's a slightly better double. It's so 50-50. Both of the calls. Could you imagine if my season's defined because I make them both wrong? If I get one right, one wrong, like, I'm happy with that. Like, that's fine. I just don't want to get both wrong. I hate the fact that Saka is the early kickoff this morning. It's the fact that he's early kickoff means I don't want Saka. Whereas Spurs are, to be fair, Spurs are this evening. I could go Saka to Havertz or Kulu to Mount. Again, I'm faced with a very similar. I prefer Havertz to Mount, so I'd probably do that one. Get rid of Kulu because you already have cover for Spurs with Kane and Saka. Yeah, that's true. The ownership is going down a little bit. G1KU. So let's have a look at the most transferred out players quickly. How long do I got? I can't. What time is it? 20 past 10. Okay. So, round, transfers out round. Again, anyone new, we are about 10 subscribers away from our... We are 8 subscribers away from our target for today. Please do subscribe if you are enjoying me panic about my wildcard half an hour before the deadline. Gameweek transfers out. Kane. 227,000 transfers out for Harry Kane. What are people doing? Saka, the same. Maybe their ownership of these guys is just going to drop. Son, the same. 157,000 transfers out. Kulu, 120,000 transfers out. The ownership of Spurs is going to drop, right? Let me get live FPL up. I'm sure you all are familiar with this site. If anyone doesn't know the site, it basically helps you see like ownership stuff and your live rank. I'm sure you're all familiar with it though. Do Robbo to Matip and get Kane, Saka, Kulu. I can't get Kane. Like, Kane, Saka, Kulu just doesn't fit my structure. I'm not sure why Kane's being shipped out that much. Sorry, I want player ownership. So, Arsenal. Saka was 86% owned. That's still going to be probably 50-60%. Spurs. Maybe they're 100% combined EO now. Having one of them's okay. And maybe I cover both. The issue is, is next week on Captaincy. Hi Fred, how are we doing? 2 decisions left to make on Wildcard. Do I want Son or Kane, and do I want Saka or Kulusevski? I have Kane and he's a solid keep right now, but so is Son, right? If you had Son, you'd be saying the same thing. Kane dropped in price too. Did he? Maybe I should have sold him. I've got value still tied up in him. Laporte or Diaz? I'd go Laporte. Yeah, if you make Robbo Matip, you can get Kulu and Saka and Kane for the 4.6 place in your squad right now. It's true, but... Well, what? Do it like this and get Matip, but then I would have to bench Matip some games. get Kane, and get Kulu. What, like that? And play what formation? A 4-4-2. Again, concern is Matip's not going to play both in the double. Like Konate will start one of those two. Whereas they're big games where Robbo's going to play. Matip and Konate have returned the last 9 games. Yeah. It looked nice. It looked nice, but... I'll be on captain Kai Havertz once I've finalised this team. Thank you all. We've hit our subscriber goal. Thank you anyone new who has subscribed today. Appreciate it so much. Thank you guys. Should I start Chalobah over Kulusevski? No, because I don't think Chalobah plays both games. Thanks, guys. Cancelo and Shah no hit versus Laporte and Alonso for -4. Cancelo, Shah. Anish, thank you for being a new subscriber. The points predictor is called Fantasy Football Hub. There is a link in the description down below. Invest heavily in Chelsea attack or defence. If it's for 1 week, I'd go on the attack. If I could, I'd go on the attack this week. I do have a train, which I cannot miss. Saturday the 23rd at 12 o'clock. It's about an hour from my house. So I might need to... Are you actually not having Son? I don't know if I want Son or Kane. Again, Son or Kane or Saka and Kulusevski. I don't know what's going to allow me to make the decision. Mason, please don't. Making it worse. Wow, apparently he's actually going to be benched. Apparently Slabhead's actually going to be benched. Maguire. Could I restructure completely and go with Laporte instead of James Cancelo and have Mount and Kai? So I've tried it. I'm just short of it. And yeah, basically it doesn't work. Yeah, effectively I have gone through the process of it. I'm slightly short of doing the transfers that I would want and the changes that I would want. Any other options on a wildcard? No. So these are the final decisions that I'm making. Do I want Nketiah and do I want Saka, Kulu, or do I want Kane, Son? Where do I go? Thank you to all of you for sticking around. We are 20 likes away from 400, which would be crazy. So if you guys haven't liked the stream and are new and haven't subscribed, please do both. Thank you. Should I play Dubravka or Sarr? I'd probably play Dubravka. Would I captain James or Werner? I'd probably captain James. Mount and James or Havertz and Alonso? I'd probably go Havertz, Alonso. Chris, no worries. Thank you for the kind words. You can't afford Saka, Martinelli or Dewsbury Hall. If you need them to play, you'd probably have to gamble on Martinelli, but I'm not sure he's going to start every week now. So maybe Dewsbury Hall and upgrade the money elsewhere. Still Havertz captain, yep. Konate should play UCL and FA Cup. Your squad looks so much better the other way. You can play any formation. But then Matip just not playing the double is so far from ideal. Like players bench boosting with players not playing the double is just not what you want. Like I need to maximise that week. I don't think it upgrades my squad enough. Like Robbo versus Kulu is very, very good. No Chelsea, no double Chelsea midfield because I just can't fit it with the structure that I want. Cap, Mount or Salah, I'd probably just about favour Salah, but that's one of the closest calls of the week. Right, I actually need to do this wildcard. So, transfers out. What is the ownership on these Spurs guys? Son is holding his ownership slightly more. Kane will drop more. Son will be the highest owned, so maybe I need Son. Also helps me. You haven't decided. I've had a whole week. It's true. It's so true. I've had a whole week to decide on my wild card, and it is now 30 minutes before the deadline, and I have 2 decisions I still have not made. I think I'm going to go Son. I just think that's safer. Captaincy next week's the only thing. But Salah, I think he's going to start against Newcastle. We'll get it. It's the early kickoff though, is the only thing. Son in. That means I'm ending up with Nketiah up here. And it means that I'm saving 0.5 in the bank. Kane gives you more options to get better midfielders. No, but Son allows me like the option, like I just have to have, if Kane, I just have to have a cheap midfielder. So I also very marginally cover the Spurs defense a little bit more. It's now Saka or Kulu. The final decision on the wild card, Saka or Kulusevski. Again, Saka's probably the sensible pick. Like, in a double, could Lucas Moura play one of the two in the double? I mean, it's probably unlikely, isn't it? But Kulu, 100% says Dan. Is Rudiger out for both games? We don't know that. Matip has started 17 in a row in the Prem. It's just with the fixtures coming up, FA Cup, it's a lot of different games that it's harder to predict that. But I take your point. You have no Spurs. You have. I do. I have Son. I have Son. Linda, morning, welcome. How are you doing? Saka. Wood or Mount or Havertz. I'd go Havertz. I think that's Havertz. Saka or up front. You'll play Pookie every week. No, I'll play Pookie this week, and then I'll play Dennis next week. Yeah, I'll play Dennis against Burnley. Then I'll bench boost. Then I will free hit, and then don't know what I'm doing in game week 38. It's Kulu and Matip and Kane versus Nketiah, Son and Robbo. Kulu, Matip, yeah, but I can't play all three. If that makes sense. And I can only start 2 of them. So it's Kulu and Kane or Son and Robbo. I'm actually feeling alright this morning, Sponge. Thank you, though. Son to Havertz, Dean to Alonso, Doherty to Cancelo for -8. You're selling injured players in there as well. Son out, again, I don't love, but it allows you to do the other 3, I imagine. So I quite like it. Why Nketiah over João Pedro? This is also true. I worry that Josh King's going to come in at some point for Watford. So if I just do forwards under the price of 5-4. Yeah, Rodriguez, Hwang, like Nketiah's had more shots than João Pedro, but he's played like a fraction of the minutes. But I swapped my quiz win last night for the top. No, I won the quiz last night. It was the best highlight of my season. I'd rather finish 100k and still win that quiz. Get highest predicted points in game week 36 for forwards. that are priced under 5. Josh Sargent. Is Sargent going to be fit? No, I'm not going Josh Sargent. It's actually predicting more for João Pedro. Again, it doesn't like the minutes for Nketiah. Doesn't like, but I can't see Lacazette like not starting games anymore. This is my worry. But do I think João Pedro is just that's it? Prefer Laporte to Alonso for the long term. So I'll do Alonso to Laporte next week. Like that's nailed on. I think I'm going to go Saka. Just get Jay Rodriguez at this point. Who do they play on the final day of the season? Oh, Newcastle at home. No, but I can use a transfer. Why everyone is not keeping Foden all of a sudden? Because they're not sure if he's going to play this week. Hands up if you've seen Harry and Mason Mount. Very good. Is Barnes starting? We don't know. Bring in Werner for Kane. I don't particularly love it. Would I start Weghorst or Ben White? I would start Weghorst or Ben White. Thoughts on Havertz minutes long term? I think it's still not bad. I think he's still first choice. There'll be rotation around the FA Cup, but cap Salah or Mount. I think I'm going to Salah or Mount. I just about favour Salah. Guys, if you are new again, please do subscribe. You will be allowed to use the chat once you've subscribed, and make sure you've liked the stream as well. But I am, because I've got a train to go and catch, I am going to actually going to bench Maguire. Saka or Pukki? Oh, it's Saka or Kulu. Let's do one more round of it in the chat. Saka or Kulu? Saka or Pukki? Pukki. You haven't had one of your defenders. Who would you downgrade? I'd probably not have double Chelsea, but that's not easy to. That doesn't free up as much money. Saka for sure. Right. Should we get it done? Adam, just when I was about to be happy, you said Kulu. Saka. Oh god, the Kulus are flying in. Saka. I feel like I'm wanting positive reinforcement that I need Saka over Kulu. Right. Also helps with a bit of money as well. So, Robertson, Havertz, Son, João Pedro, Dennis in. These transfers will be active. Wildcard. I can't have both. You're telling me now, Kulu. It's that Leeds game in the double, though. They've looked really good. We'll do a poll, but that's true, Paul. If he's on pens now. Cool. I'm doing it. We'll give the poll 20 seconds, but I'm going to do it. And then we're going to need to wrap up the stream so I can go and get on my train. Saka. We'll give this 5-10 seconds more. My rank right now is 12,000, just below me here. No worries. Cool. 5, 4. Yeah, Saka on pens is what's done it. It's because Nketiah and Lacazette, I can't see if he scored it. I can't see Nketiah taking them over him. And Lacazette, we don't know if he's going to start. So, yeah, I get it, but Ben White or Weghorst? I'd start Weghorst. We did a captaincy poll. Chelsea came out on top. So, it's done. It's done, it's done. Why can I not get it to a view that is useful for having on stream? There we go. Look at that. Double Watford attack on my bench. Oh, hang on. Change that. Make a vice captain. Sorry, make captain on Kai. Make vice on Salah. We're ready to go. We are ready to go. We are going to need to wrap up the stream because if I miss this trade, I'm going to be in big trouble. So, thank you all very much for watching. I know we are a little bit early, but who are we going to find to... Who are we going to find to raid? I don't see that many. But give me, I'm going to put a link to a channel in the chat for you that I just enjoy. Steve-O, I think he's very good entertainment. So go and just say hello in here. Say that Harry sent you. Have a good one, everyone. Good luck this week. I don't need the noise. Thank you, guys. Good luck this week. I'll post any changes if they happen, but I've made the transfers now. It might change João Pedro, but I'm pretty sure on that. I didn't mean to go straight away. I forgot I didn't have transitions turned on. Thank you, guys. Have a lovely weekend. Good luck this week, and we'll be back again next week. If you haven't, like and subscribe before you go, and I'll see you all very soon. Thanks, guys.